Hello everyone, Luke here, and I apologise for this review being extremely late. It's just last week I was doing a show where I was playing a really big part in it, one of the main parts in it. So I figured, like, okay, I best focus on that. Because that is more important. That is more important for me personally. And in case you were wondering, went very well. We all got really good praise. Everyone loved it. My grandmother was proud of me, which is always a plus. So yeah, very happy with my performance there. But now with that group moving on to some new stuff, fingers crossed that the ideas that I'm getting down right now get put forward for that for the next show. And also it did help that the series was on hiatus for me, so that made it a positive for me. Now, in terms of the two upcoming chapters, chapter 206. Chapter 205 and 206, those will be a double one because next week, on Monday, I won't be here. I'll be going on holiday, so I'll be there from Monday to next Monday. So those 205 and 206, they'll be done together. So yeah, and also as well with this chapter, when I first read it, I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this. I don't really know if this is kind of like my thing, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, even though I personally kind of did not like this chapter all that much. So anyway, we'll get into the reasons why as we go along, but I think you can pretty much figure out why it is. So this is chapter 204, titled Locked in Missteps. So basically the chapter starts off with Maury and Khan basically reiterating, like, oh yeah, the two girls that we went to hang out together, yeah, they wanted to ask us to hang out together even more. And months ago, Khan dragged Morihito along on a double date with them, but thanks to the spells he was under, Morihito was a cringer comedian the whole time, turning the date into a disaster. And yeah, this is why I'm really not a fan of this chapter, because of the fact that we do another personality switch between Khan and Morihito. I'm like, oh my god, like, can't we just go 5 minutes with these guys not using any spells on each other? But yeah, Morihito is just like, hell no, I'm not going. I was told the last time it was a total disaster. I don't want a repeat of another total disaster. I already have enough memories of total disasters in it. I don't need more being put on it. And Khan's like, hey, they said our impromptu comedian routine was a lot of fun. That's why they want to have lunch together again with us as well. And they're like, and Murray's like, no, I'm not going. And Khan's like, oh, just please. You don't know how lucky you are. All you've got to do. You've not got to do a thing. You're just gonna keep those girls just keep gawking over you. How can you be so popular and be so totally uninterested in goes, oh, I don't know, Khan. Maybe because he's got you lot just having to be picture perfect so that he gives into your demands. Because you saw how Maya was in the last chapter. Like, when you guys have so many demands, like, it's amazing that Mori even puts up with you guys half the time. So after a lot of nagging from Khan of just being, come on, this is a super opportunity for me. I don't get to do this all that much, and now I'm being offered the chance to do it again. Morihito's like, fine, okay, just to get you off my back, I will come, I'll be present, but I won't be doing any of the talking. It was the chatting that the girls liked, right? Are you going to put a spell on yourself again just to make yourself look good, Khan? And they're like, nah, kidding joke isn't actually a spell that makes a guy crack jokes. Last time you had someone honest on you two. The two together is what had you cracking whatever joke just popped into your mind. So we're going to be using a different spell this time, a spell that makes someone a fun talker. Like, okay, so we are getting like a different spell compared to the last time, but this is still going to be a total disaster, because what it basically means is that they're just going to swap. They're just going to pretty much swap personalities. Essentially, it's like Morihito's going to be being the more charming one, and Khan's going to be like just the more natural, funny one. And like, yeah, it's going to be a total disaster. As Nico comes in, it's like, oh, why do you need that? Why do you need that spell? And Khan's like, I want to help a pal who's been boring to talk to. And yeah, Colin's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell her that it's Morihito that I'm talking about here. As it goes on to explain, it doesn't have to make a person a comedian. Even though they just say stuff that's a little off, that's fine. That'll give me the opportunity to crack some jokes. So I guess you won't hate that you won't have that specific spell. Before Nika's like, no, there is one actually. I'll just have to cast it in your friend, and knowing that it's Morihito. Car's just like, no, don't cast it away, don't cast it. Try it on these mints here, as he pulls out some mints. And and if you've got a spell that makes the guy sound cool, that'll be grateful. But Khan thinks there's no such spell, but Nico says, no, actually that is. So she casts the spell, so one pack of fresh mints makes one person say stuff that's a little off. So you're going to take that, Morihito. And then there's another one that makes the guy sound cool. That's the one I'll be taking. And as you can see, because of these, like, they're going to get mixed up. They're essentially going to get mixed up here. As Morihito says, are you sure that these spells are a smart idea? I haven't. Yeah. Morihito knows what's coming. It's like, come on, we all know that this is going to happen. This is going to totally backfire. We're going to end up with the wrong spells, and then we're going to be like, okay, now what do we do? And Khan is basically dismissing, like, oh, come on, it'll be fine. Come on, just do it. Do it for me. Do it for your pal. You'll say stuff that's a little off. I'll snap back some combats. The girls will laugh, and we'll all be fine and dandy. As they take the mints, and the caption on the title page says Morihito's prediction was about to be proven correctly. As we see the two girls, they're just there, like, they're here. We've even grabbed some extra seats, so it's good to see you two. As Khan says with a thumbs up, it's like, look out, ladies, I'm getting in good with one of you today. And everyone's just there frozen, like, what was that? What were you actually trying to prove with that? And this is where Khan starts to realise, like, oh great, I opened my mouth and what I said earlier just popped out, essentially getting the mint that Mori was meant to get, and vice versa. Mori got the mint that Khan was meant to get. So now, complete role reverse of what they were meant to actually be doing in the first place. So as the girls hear Khan's really awkward line, they're like, okay, you're not afraid to say that kind of stuff, Khan. I guess that's kind of funny. And Khan is just like freaking out here, like, oh, glad to be here, before you see cool Mori being like, I wish I could take this moment with you and close in a little bubble of eternity. And the girls are like, oh god, this is the kind of thing we're gonna have to be dealing with this time. As Morihito and Khan arguing like the best way they can. Of like, isn't my partner here funny? We're eternal friends. Wait, that was actually meant to be a joke. But whatever. But I think whatever I say is one step off. As we get an explanation of the spell, which is it's a spell that shifts a person's response back one step, and that's not what I meant when I talked about saying stuff that was a little off. And Morihito was the one who actually was saying the cool stuff. So it's basically backwards. Not only that, the cool stuff is so over the top cheesy. It's kind of lame. What the heck is this kind of spell? You kind of brought it on yourself, Kanye, when you asked for, instead of just being your natural self with Mori, you decide like, oh no, I need to spice things up here. And now you can play like, great, now what? How am I supposed to talk when everything is one of? Well, I guess I'll try to memorize what everyone says. Wait, no, I can't predict what everyone will say. Like, I think we're essentially screwed at this point. Before the girls start ordering some food, before Khan, in his infinite wisdom, decides to insult the girls by, dude, what's that pretentious crap? And it's like, oh my god, Khan. You see why I don't really like this chapter? Because it's just like, the more they tried to make things better, the more they made it worse kind of situation. And yeah, I feel like this was like the ultimate buffer chapter of just being like, okay, we're having this buffer chapter before we get back into the main story. I feel like the author just literally had no idea what to do with this chapter, so it just made it as awkward to get through as possible. That's really the only explanation I could come up with. But yeah. One of the girls is like, oh, it's an Aphrodite, really that pretentious, and Carl's like, I didn't mean to say that. Morihito, can you come, as Morihito, orders a raspberry mix soda to toast to the beautiful eyes of the girl, which gets them somewhat calmed down, but still a little bit confused as they get, so you two are really on the comedy thing today, but maybe we can set that aside for a second. Let's just order food for real. And yeah, Khan is just making it worse with like just what's coming out of his mouth by saying, yeah, I'm totally thrilled to get this party started, and yeah, the reactions of the girls are just priceless, just being like the most awkward, like, I do not know what to do in this situation, like, why am I in this situation, can I get out of this situation? And Khan is just like, everything I said is being often super awkward, this is not how it's supposed to go. I'm just not going to say another word before Morihito comes in and says, come, let's all bask in the elegant joy of the natural sparkle. And they're just like, yeah, let's chat. Let's chat before. Yeah, again, rude as hell. Khan says, you keep your cheesy chops. Like, oh my god, seriously, Khan, seriously, can you just like for 5 minutes in this conversation? Yeah, at this point, I think if I was the girls in this situation, I'd be like, okay, I'm up and leaving. Like, this is getting too out of hand here. Before Khan says, is it me? Before Khan says, Crab Morihito's so lame, I can't even take it. Like, I can't get out of this situation. The stuff he said is so dumb, I can't comment on it. I wish I hadn't brought him on. Like, no, you wanted him there. You were begging him to go, Khan. So you got in your bed, you got to lie in it, man. So before things can even get any more awkward, the girls say to Morihito, like, I think I want to talk to you. You look like you're really fit. Do you work out a lot? And yeah, he kind of does work out a lot. Like, he does a lot of work in that house. As he says, I want to be sure I'm always ready to be my girl's shield. And yeah, Khan is just making things even worse here, because everything that Rory says, he's just bouncing back up, thinking that it's a joke, but at the same time, just being incredibly rude and saying the complete opposite of what is meant to be saying in this situation. As Rory does his best efforts to keep the conversation like as interesting, as cool as possible, before it ends with one of the girls saying, I've been thinking of going on a diet myself, and yeah, Khan says I would say probably the rudest thing in the chapter. Hold that. That chest is so thick, I'm about to rip out your Yeah. Yep, says that. He says that. I can't believe they got away with translating that in the Fizz media. I cannot believe they got away with translating something like that. And yeah, this is just the final straw for the girls. And honestly, I do not blame them. And Khan is just there, like, saying, no, you don't need to go, like, you don't understand, I'm under a spell. Like, he's basically trying to, like, do a double take and backpedal everything, as he thinks in his mind, I'm dead, I don't have any way to dispel this spell, I'm stuck in hell, as Morihito says, sorry ladies, it seems we just can't get anything right, can we? And yeah, Morihito gives him a wink, but it's a wink, I think it's more of a wink of like, you better shut up right now before things really get out of hand, man. So please, just be quiet. Do not say anything. As Khan says, Morihito, are you here to my rescue? Thanks, bro. All I've got to do is go along with what you say right now. No, just don't say anything. Do not say anything, Khan. You're just making it work. Like, how is this so difficult for this guy to think like, oh, it's because of what I'm saying. Like, well, keep that zipped up. Otherwise, you're just digging yourself more into the rabbit hole. Yeah. Can you see why I don't like this shot? Like, it makes Khan out to be like I mean, I know he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but at the same time, like, he's not this dumb. Like, I wouldn't say he's this dumb to be like, okay, whatever I say is just making things worse, just shut it. Like, how difficult is that, Khan? So yeah, Morito says, we wanted so badly to make tonight interesting that things got a bit out of hand. Apparently, talking to ladies as lovely as you, as is all I'll say. Forgiven. So basically apologising for what Khan has said. And I can just imagine that after this chapter, Morito will just be like, Khan, you friggin' idiot. But yeah, Morito explains like, hey, we're just a little bit nervous, things got a little bit out of hand, so please forgive us, ladies. As one of the ladies is like, oh, I get it now. And Khan says, yeah, there we go. Now I'll make a face like, yeah, same with me, and I agree with him. The words are a little bit off, but the point will still get across. As he said, sorry, that came off really weird. I didn't mean any of it. As in relief, the girls are like, oh, okay, is that what it was? It's okay, don't let it get to you. We're enjoying ourselves, I promise. No, I wouldn't be enjoying myself after that. After being insulted like Khan has insulted them in this chapter, I would not be enjoying myself. I'll be up, packing my bags and be like, see you guys, we don't want to talk to you ever again. And Khan thinks like, oh good, we're starting to get that back under control. This may work out after all. Man, how could I have forgotten? I just have to trust my friends. Even if I stick my foot in my mouth, Morihito will back me up. No! What you needed to do was just go and be yourself, Khan. You didn't need a spell or anything to impress any ladies. Just be yourself. Honestly, the important part is that they're having fun. So let's end this hell once and for all. As one of the girls says, yeah, I just got a little puppy. It's the cutest thing in the world. And Maury's like, what a lucky creature to be able to wait for him, for you to come home. And yeah, they're like, yeah, we're still working on the potty training though. He's so little, he'll just say what. He'll still just happen to go wherever he happens to be, and yeah. Khan just responds with like, this is the same with me. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, I know the spell is making him go back a few phrases, but like again, what you need to do is just not say anything. Khan, just be like, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, the girls at this point are just being like, the hell did not, in fact, end anytime soon. And it's like, what? You just pee wherever you're standing, and cause it'll be like that at the start. I can't help you know. It's gonna be tough on the family, but they'll deal. Why are you talking like it's not a problem? And the girls are just like, oh my god, please tell me you at least clear up after yourself. And he's like, hell no, I don't. And this just escalates even further. Like, why the hell would I do that? And yeah. Calling it gross, yeah, that is an appropriate reaction at this point after hearing like, yeah, I just go wherever I'm saying. I don't clean up after myself. Like, how are you not how are people not going to be gross after that? Before they say, oh, this is some kind of joke. This is some kind of joke. You must be making this up. And Khan basically just confirms that no, I actually do. But Maury, you've got to help me here. You've got to get me out of this situation. Maury at this point has just given up. I don't blame Maury at this point. Like, Maury is pretty much the innocent party in this whole situation. This whole chapter could have been solved so easily if Khan had have gone up to Nico and been like, Nico, I need a spell. He would have been like, no, tell me how to talk to girls, Nico. Like, that would have at least been much more of a believable situation for Khan to be in than just be like, I need a spell to get out of this situation. Because this spell just made things 10 times more worse. 10 times more worse. And yeah, after the whole date is gone on, we see Maury and Khan heading on home, and yeah, we see Muriel there. I'll be like, oh, welcome back. What happened? You clearly bungled things spectacularly. So what's wrong? What happened? What went wrong? Did they enjoy talking to you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well did it go? And Muriel, What do you think? So yeah, after Miria asks like, "Hey, how did it go for you guys? Come on, tell me." Khan is just like the most depressive, like, "We're home," like looking as though he's like, just get rid of me right now. Send me to the great cloud in the great Tengu cloud in the sky. As they go into the lounge living room, and Kay goes like, "Oh, you're back. So how did it go with the pretty girls? What was the result? Was it 1, 10, 100, 1,000?" And they say, "Yeah, it was silver for both of us." And Car's like, not Car. Kay goes like, "Oh, harsh. They were great. Wait, before." Kay goes like, "Wait, which was it? They were two angels gracing a family restaurant. Like, what's gotten into you two?" Like, yeah, and that's where the chapter ends. So, date chapter, and it was blown. Like, yeah, seriously, yeah, not one of my favourite chapters. I must say. But hey, gotta do what you gotta do, and at least I was able to talk about it somewhat. But yeah. Really have nothing else to say on this chapter. Like, Khan was at his worst. Morihito should have been like, "No, you are not doing this. We are not taking these bids. These bids, we're throwing them away. We're gonna be ourselves talking to these girls." Like, that would have at least made this chapter more realistic. And then when they're actually talking to the girls, they'll be like, "Oh crap, we don't have no idea how to talk to these girls. Let's just go and get those mints." At least then I could see like the desperation on it. Like, they just literally went from like knowing what happened last time when they went on a double date with these two girls. They're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't use a spell this time because we know what happened last time. It backfired, so maybe we shouldn't use it. And when they start the day and it's still going completely wrong for them, they would have been like, "Okay, desperate times call for desperate measures. We need the spell." That I could have seen being a lot more realistic than just going no straight to the spell, because they knew that this would happen. And Khan has no one to display but himself, and I feel like this is Khan at his absolute worst when it comes to using Nico's powers in the way that they've been used. But like I said, I feel like this was a real buffer chapter, and next chapter we're going to be starting like the start of the really next major big arc. So anyway, guys, like I said, next week I will be on holiday, so the next two chapters will be a double review, so look forward to that. And what did you guys think of this chapter? Let me know, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.